What's going on, guys? In this video, we're getting into the physical body part of self-mastery. Before we get into that, my name's Keith. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos, because I'm putting out new videos every single day. So let's get into this. So yesterday, I made a video just breaking down in a brief summary of what self-mastery is, considering it's the concept that I founded this channel around, and I'll put that video right here. But essentially, to recap it, I've said that self-mastery for me is broken down into three parts. You've got to master the physical body, the intellectual body, and the emotional body, and that having a great life and getting the things you want in your life comes down to mastering those three areas, because I do believe that you can get anything you want in your life as long as you get yourself in the right spot to accomplish it. So I'm a firm believer that everything is on you. I don't believe in being a victim or blaming other people. At the end of the day, it's on you to take the action. So in this video and part 2 of the series, we're going to get into the physical body and how exactly you can master the physical body. So to get into this, now, I'm not saying that in mastering the physical body, everyone's going to have the same standards. Some people are more inclined to be, say, an intellectual versus someone who's more inclined to be physical, or even just more of someone who's more into the subjective and artistic type of person who might be more in the emotional category. So you're going to have one of these areas that you're probably more dominant in, but it doesn't mean you can neglect any of the areas, because you have to still have some form of balance between them, and it is up to you to determine that balance. But if you're not doing anything to take care of your physical body is going to be out of balance, and it's going to be no time before it betrays you. And the thing about wellness practices is a lot of times you don't notice the detrimental effects that are happening until you make the change. So like for me, when I started meditating, for example, I didn't realize how caught up I was in my thoughts and how driven I was by reacting to the world and emotional situations. But once I started to meditate, I started to notice the change. And it's the same way with physical practices you're going to see here. So let's get into this. Taking care of the physical body, let me explain why this is essential to reaching goals, because there are obviously some people who are out of shape, who maybe have a bunch of money, and I think this is one of the problems with our society, is it gets caught up too much in money being the indicator of success and having a good life. But I mean, think about somebody like Kurt Cobain or Robin Williams, who committed suicide when they had ungodly amounts of money. So clearly money is not the key to happiness. Obviously we want to have money, we want to have nice things, but if money's what you're chasing, that's not going to work in the end. It's not going to be fulfilling in the end, that is, and it should just be part of a complete life. But if these people, they're not in great physical shape, they're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor as much, for one thing. And you're just not going to feel good inside your body. And ultimately, everything we're doing is about chasing that feeling of feeling good, all right? And some of these things might be drinking, for example, which is short-lived and it's fast-acting, whereas wellness practices like training your body every day are going to be a slow build, and you're going to notice the results over time, and you're just going to feel better in your own skin. And those are the plays that we should be looking for here on this physical body part of things. So as far as this goes, I broke the physical body down into a few different areas that you need to focus on so that you can master the physical body. 1, obviously being exercise. 2, diet, supplementation, cold showers, breath work, body maintenance, things like just making sure your physical body's in good shape, if you need to stretch or if you need to go to the doctor for something. And then also sleeping. Sleeping is very important, and I'm going to get into each one of these specifically. When it comes to exercise, guys, you don't have to do the same kind of exercise I do. Maybe you like to run marathons or something like that. That's totally fine, but you need to have some kind of physical practice. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I realized our generation and maybe the generation right before it are the first generations that have ever existed in human history that if we don't take it upon ourselves to actually go out and train our physical body will atrophy. Because if you think about people in, say, like the 40s or even before that, your body was more required for you to live your daily life, right? You didn't have computers and machines, and most people were working outdoors and things like that, and a lot of more agricultural work, things like that. And the jobs were more physically demanding, and also the foods didn't have so much processed crap in them that made your body become unhealthy. So now it becomes on us with the catch-22 when it not catch-22, when you open the Pandora's box, I guess you could say, of an easy life and having machines to do things for you, is now the responsibility is on you to take care of your physical body yourself. So I've made plenty of videos on physical exercise. I'll put one of them right here on just the kind of stuff I do, but any kind of physical practice needs to be included in your daily life. The second one on here, diet, and we'll include supplementation in here too because they're pretty similar. But your diet needs to be on point. You know, there's a lot of types of foods out there you need to be avoiding. If you want me to make a video on foods you should be avoiding, leave it down in the comment section and I'll get a lot more specific on types of things you need to be looking for that are really bad for your body, because there's some out there that'll really fool you. But making sure that the kind of stuff that goes in your body not only is going to make your body feel physically good, but it's going to be internally in a good state. Like, I know a lot of people, they'll stop drinking regular sodas and they'll go to sugar-free sodas, but people don't know that a lot of the chemicals that go into sugar-free sodas actually fuck up your brain chemistry, and can cause a lot of neural problems, cancers, things like that. So those aren't any better. In fact, they could be worse than just drinking the sugar outright. So making sure that your diet is on point, because what's going to happen with your diet, same way with physical exercises, these are going to overlap into the emotional state you're living in, as well as your ability to act and set goals and achieve goals and think clearly. The kinds of foods you're going to eat are going to power your body. Healthy fats are great for your brain, helping you think and concentrate for longer periods of time. Protein is, obviously, everyone knows this by now, that protein is incredibly necessary, but getting a well-balanced diet, getting your vitamins in, and supplementing where necessary is also very important. I'm not a huge supplement junkie personally, but there are a few supplements that I do take. Also, leave a comment if you want me to make a video going into all the supplements I take. I can break it down for you and why I take them. But basically, I take the pretty basic stuff. One I've talked about before is D-aspartic acid I take, which is good for your testosterone levels. I take that just because the modern man has an issue with his testosterone. I think it has to do with all the technology that goes around and the fact that we're not out doing physical labor jobs as often. Plus, in the Western world, we live in kind of an emasculated culture now. But I'll get more into that if you'd like me to in another video. But supplementation, getting your diet right, is extremely key so that you can have the other things going on in your life. I can tell you that having my body in check has been instrumental to me being able to drive forward towards my goals in other areas, because it gives me more energy, it just gives me a better state of being, it gives me more confidence. It's extremely important. You cannot underestimate the importance of the physical body when it comes to creating other things in your life. The next one I had on here was cold showers. These are just basically practices, obviously. Some of these are more important than others. It's not like if you don't take cold showers, your life's gonna be ruined, but I do recommend them. I take a cold shower every morning. Helps you get into that present state, get more into your body. In the 21st century, it's so easy to get caught up in your head. We're on the phones all day, on the computers all day, and the ability to communicate with people is a lost art at this point, and getting a cold shower, it plunges you into your body. It's great for reducing inflammation and stress as well. It'll make you feel a lot better when you get out of the water. So that's another one. Breath work. Most people have very constrained breathing these days. If you're breathing out of your chest, you're not breathing correctly. You want to breathe deep into your stomach and then into your chest after that. I just did it right there too, because I have a tendency to get my breath kind of gets constricted as I start going in these videos if I get on kind of a rant. And you can actually notice because my voice will start to get a little bit higher. But taking deep breaths is extremely important for a lot of things. It's incredibly important for being present. You know, if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, start taking some deep breaths. I meditate every morning, which involves taking deep breaths, but I also do some other breath work practices. Wim Hof has a breathing meditation that I'm a big fan of. It's just about basically overwhelming the system with oxygen, because we just don't get enough oxygen in our bodies, and it has a great benefit for your overall health. It gets you more into your body, reduces inflammation. Most diseases, most people don't know this, are caused by inflammation, including depression and things like that. Inflammation's a really bad problem in our society for a number of reasons, but making sure that you're getting enough oxygen in your body and taking deep breaths can have a profound impact on your life. It really can. This honestly is potentially the most important one on this list, if I had to say so. And again, these kinds of things aren't things you're going to notice instantaneously. It's not like the moment you take some deep breaths, you're going to feel like fucking Superman, you know, but give it some time, start doing this, making it a practice, and then just kind of make a mental note of how you felt like maybe a month ago versus how you feel now. These things happen on like an incremental process. I actually recommend, if you're someone who's on the self-development journey in any way, that you start journaling at least like on a monthly basis, logging how things have changed, because it's really easy to think that nothing's changing because sometimes it can go slower than you think. I know this happens for me. I tend to get way over my skis with things. So I've actually put a reminder on my phone to go in and put and just make like kind of like a page where I just write down how things are different now than they were a month ago, and I realized like, wow, like I'm actually making some serious progress here. So I'd really recommend that if you're on one of these kind of grinds and it's not natural for you to want to train the body and things like that, just make a mental note once a month of how you feel versus how you did feel, how you look versus how you did look, all these kinds of things. Next one I had on there, obviously body maintenance. If your body's like getting broken down and worn out, we need to do something about that. Part of this is also your posture. Comes down to body maintenance, right? If your posture's out of alignment, it's going to have a huge problem for your body. We want to have our shoulders back, chest out, assuming an alpha posture, because this is going to cause your serotonin levels to go up. Serotonin gives you more confidence. It's the alpha male hormone, essentially. It's going to make you more personable. You're going to be better to talk to people. You're going to have a more positive state of being. And when you're in a more positive state of being, you're more inclined to do the things and go after the things that you want in life. Whereas if you're in a stressful feeling in your body, you're in more of like a protectionist kind of feeling and more of a like get rather than give mentality. You're looking at things through like a win-lose kind of lens, whereas when you're feeling good and you feel abundant in yourself and you feel like your needs are taken care of, which serotonin helps to do all these things, you start to look at the world as more of a giving place and an opportunity for you to give your gift and receive back gifts, and it can have a huge impact on the way you live your life. The last one I had on here, sleep. Getting on a good sleep schedule is really key. This is one of the first things I ask people who are like struggling to fall behind when I'm like coaching somebody is I'll just ask them what their sleep schedule's like. And most of the time they don't have a sleep schedule. And I'm not saying it's got to be the same every single day and you can't have any fun, but try to set like a baseline. And even if it's like you're waking up later in the day, if that's your preferred time, if you like waking up at 10, all right, we'll just commit to that time and start setting an alarm so that you can get your body into a rhythm, because your body works like a machine. That's why they say 95% of your actions on a daily basis are subconscious, meaning that you didn't have to think anything about them, they just happened. It's because your body runs like a machine. It's like a computer program. So programming a consistent wake and sleep time is going to help your body function properly while you're up and get good sleep while you're asleep, and that's especially essential. I know so many guys who really struggle to stay awake during the day, and a lot of times it's because of this. They might get 8 hours, but it was at a different time of day, and so their body's kind of thrown off by the situation. So that's actually very important. Another part of this is it's actually kind of subconscious too, or mental, that is. They've done a study, there's studies been done where people were put on an alarm clock, and the alarm clock was changed while they were asleep so that they thought they woke up at like 8:30 and maybe they got 8 hours of sleep, but they actually woke up at 4:30 and got 4 hours of sleep, but they thought they got their complete 8, so they functioned better throughout the course of the day than the people who knew that they'd only gotten 4 hours of sleep. So part of it is mental. So setting that clock and making sure you get the right amount of time is very important, and just being on a rhythm. Your body works on rhythms and your mind works best on rhythms. So getting on that is very key. So guys, obviously you don't have to be perfect about these. You don't even have to do all of these. I would say the essential ones, obviously you need to be training the body. You need to be aware of what you're eating, making sure you're eating good stuff. And I would say the deep breathing, posture is pretty important as well. If you can get those down, just watch your life completely change. I am a huge fan of just self-improvement because I can't think of anything. Like I said earlier, everybody's constantly chasing what they think will make them feel good, and some people are doing that through alcohol and casual sex. Some people are doing it like me through training my body and trying to make my whole self feel better and pursuing goals. But people are trying all kinds of different things to feel better, and so I can't think of anything I would rather be doing with my day than doing things that I know are going to make me feel better. So when it comes to all these things, I take pleasure in doing it. I don't see it as a chore to go work out because I know I'm going to feel better when I do it. If you can instill that mindset in you, it's going to help you a lot. And I always tell people building the body is the first step to building your ideal life. Obviously, I've said self-mastery here is the key, and I do believe that, but I feel like the easiest one to get a start on here is the physical body. If you can start working on that, you'll just kind of start to take yourself more seriously than if you're some Cheeto eating, like soda drinking gamer or something like that. If you start taking your life more seriously by taking your body more seriously, you'll start to have more serious goals, and you'll just start to treat yourself with more self-respect, and the other two areas of the body will start to fall in line. But guys, that's all I got for this one. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the emotional body. I'm looking forward to talking about that one. This one's a little more of a complicated topic. It's going to be more detail-oriented. But thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a like if you like this video so I can reach more guys with my message. And I'll see you tomorrow.